So, welcome to Behind the Screen, a content creation GM tips show here on twitch.tv/theonyxpath. I am Ryan, or Comrade Bubbles, as you can see below. I stream as Comrade Bubbles also, and I'm on Twitter as Comrade Bubbles. So if you do have any questions after this stream that you kind of want to address, feel free to tweet at me, or I do occasionally post on the Discord, the OnyxPath Discord server, which hopefully SiliconBot drops the link for at some point. Otherwise, SiliconBot's down. Where you can, if you see me, if you find my username on there, again, Comrade Bubbles, feel free to send me a private message on Discord. I reserve the right to reply when I'm able. Okay, standard disclaimers first. I don't know why I always record these for the YouTube archive, but I do. So here goes. I am disabled. I do experience muscles. Oh, I'm really hot. I'm going to have to take my hoodie off after this. I'm disabled. I do experience muscle spasms. Occasionally, the spasms can affect the muscles in my jaw and throat, so I do occasionally stutter or experience slurred speech. I apologize for that. I appreciate it doesn't make for the best listening or the best watching if you don't have this on the background and are actually paying attention to the stream. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just how my brain works, but there it is. I feel like I should get that out of the way. Sort of tied into that, but not really. I do struggle with multiple trains of thought, so I will try to finish one thing before moving on to the next. Usually, if there's a question in chat while I'm halfway through something, I'll try to acknowledge that I've seen the question and then continue on my thought process until its natural conclusion. I say usually, sometimes I break that and just answer the question straight away if it's like a short answer, but there we go. I'm very much someone who starts a sentence with a rough idea of where it's going to end, and typically it doesn't end there, so we'll see how that goes. I'm also not an official representative of OnyxPath. I'm just a fan that they've given a platform to. So if you have any issue with anything that arises during the stream, that issue is with me, not with OnyxPath. I'm incredibly grateful to them for the opportunity to do this, and I feel like it's a great. I like sharing creative processes with people, and my channel is small and wasn't kind of, when I did this show on my channel, it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. So I'm glad that I have the reach now to help answer questions that people may have about role-playing games in general, or specifically, obviously, OnyxPath ideally, but also just plotting campaigns or chronicles and things like that. You'll notice that we're doing an introductory adventure for the core Chronicles of Darkness book today, really close to the end. But before we go into the recap, I need to take my hoodie off, and also I have some links and promotional stuff to read, so just give me 1 second. Fantastic to see this, Darksage. Glad to hear it. I'm here every 2 weeks, roughly around the same time. And all of the previous episodes are both up on my own personal YouTube channel, which you can probably guess what that is, but hint, it's Comrade Bubbles. And they also, I believe, go up on the OnyxPath YouTube channel. I keep meaning to check, but to see where they're up to, but I keep forgetting. Also, they go up a week after they air on Twitch, just because there is a week's exclusivity for Twitch subscribers to the videos on demand stuff. So if you have a Twitch Prime subscription, or if you have Amazon Prime and you have yet to link it to your Twitch account to create a Twitch Prime account, you can subscribe for free and get the week's exclusivity. Okay, anyway, so standard links apply as usual. So the first one being probably the most important, as it's where most of the other links are held. The Monday meeting notes. Bam, there's one link for you. Don't expect this energy throughout the rest of the stream. The Monday meeting notes are the regular weekly update, unsurprisingly, on the Monday after the meeting, about the kind of status of OnyxPath and various projects and upcoming things. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's always a project update kind of like timeline section. There's linked to various actual plays on the channel, news items, like products going to drive-through and print-on-demand stores, that kind of thing. Of note, the two big things. One, there's currently a Kickstarter running for Legend Lore. This is the second time that Onyx Path have run the Kickstarter. I'm going to hide my dog tag just in case it comes on screen, but I don't think it will. Legend Lore is a 5e OGL game wherein one plays as people taken from yea this world and pushed into yea the fantasy world. Basically, you can play in your favorite fantasy settings as yourself rather than making a character within that setting. It's pretty cool. There's some actual plays coming out about it, and definitely check it out if you're interested. I believe, from what I recall from reading the notes, that already that campaign has surpassed its backers and funding record from the first time around, so that's pretty hype. Speaking of hype things, these links will come around at the end, so don't feel like you have to click them now and take away from the stream. Speaking of hype things, Onyx Path Con, formally announced. Woo! Onyx Path doing a virtual gaming convention. You will not see this not so gorgeous face right here on stream. I'm, alas, not involved in any of the actual plays. I'm demoing some games instead. But there will be actual plays of, obviously, Onyx Path lines with Onyx Path staff. Some of the more notable streams on this channel, the ones that you probably are more likely to have seen with their actual plays of their own, let's say, rather than this really weird niche show. And there will be panels and all that good stuff, mostly free as well, and some proceeds from donations will be going to charities. Check it out if you're interested. It is this weekend, Friday the 12th to Sunday the 14th of June 2020. And a lot of the kind of game sessions that are already sold out, so definitely worth checking it out if you want to play in any. Mostly it's World of Darkness games and Trinity and the Story Path systems, but there's an occasional Chronicles game in there, and I think there's some They Came Froms and a couple of Scarred Lands games. So check it out if you're interested. Can we play as our Chronicles of Darkness characters in D&D? I mean, you probably could. You'd have to convert your Chronicles of Darkness characters to the 5e rule set, but then you could play as them in Legend Lore. Totally. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that. That's that. I need to get the cursor in the right screen. Gosh darn it. Why am I an idiot? Okay, so as I mentioned, this is an introductory adventure for Chronicles of Darkness. This is for the core Blue Book, if you go by classical terminology at this point. Mortals, no god machine involvement. This is and everything you need is in or from the book. I don't believe in people needing supplements for introductory adventures. Run a lot of introductory games, and usually don't have more than 3 kind of, I say scenes, but in liberal air quotes, kind of sequences or story beats. There's Nightbot with the Discord link. All right, Silicon Bot is the promotional one. Yeah, so usually like a low stakes scene, a freedom scene, and an action scene. Obviously, if you plucking something out of the random ether, it's not related to a game or running on Onyx PathCon. If you get, say, a light extinguished, the Scion Jumpstart adventure, that has 3 scenes, 1 for each of the 3 types of scene in Scion. You've got an intrigue, a procedural, and an action adventure scene. Which, if those of you who've been here a long time or have been watching this for a while, will remember when I did my Scion adventure, A Rude Awakening, I broadly kept to that. Obviously, Chronicles of Darkness is a bit different from that. But I've still kept a low stakes scene where the players are introduced to danger, but there's no actual real danger, and kind of some foreshadowing. A sequence where they can explore and learn, research. It's a horror game. And then what I'm loosely terming an action scene, which is going to be the climax, wherein the players solve the problem. Now, our adventure takes place in Georgeville. You can see on the screen that there is a complete You can see on the screen now. Actually, I'll zoom in. I usually forget to zoom in, but hopefully zooming in helps for people on mobile or who just have some accessibility problems. I want to make this as accessible as possible, which is why I do narrate what I'm typing. Also avoids dead air. But if I haven't zoomed in by like 10 minutes into the show, can someone please remind me? Anyway, town history on screen right there. This will all be in a document released as pay what you want on the Storytellers Vault, so don't worry about the need to read it. Suffice to say, it's there. We've also got some urban legends and some characters. this was like episode 3, I think, was some pre-gens. But if you want to see the characters, here they are. We've got a nice variety of pronouns, which, as a non-binary person myself, makes me happy that everyone was okay with me putting non-binary characters into the pre-gens. From a variety of backgrounds and personality types for the game. The joy about Chronicles of Darkness is you can have real people, quote unquote real people. Okay, so, and then we've got, I just need to move my notes around, but then we've got the first scene, which was the, sorry, just updating my notes, there we go. Yes, and then we've got the first story aspirations. I might just do off stream, depending on how long this stream takes. I don't know if I'm going to take the full 2 hours today before finishing, so we'll see. I've just noticed the viewer count. Holy carp, that is high for this show, so thank you anyone watching this. Also, if you're watching this on video on demand, thank you as well. Story aspirations, depending on time, might come back around to that. But the first scene is a fire. There's a house on fire. Player characters might investigate if they're in the volunteer fire department. A couple of them might be, based on the character concept. But even if they don't go inside, there's still stuff that happens to people outside. They get clues, and then everyone experiences a mild supernatural foreshadowing. Ooh, spooky. Scene 2, in air quotes, the investigation. This is a cluster of scenes. You can see how many on the left hand side here. That's a fair number of scenes, or different locations. Introducing the investigation mechanic for Chronicles of Darkness if you want to use it, or just allowing the player characters to investigate the clues that they have in any order they wish. This is the bit I need to go back to, the preparation scene at the end of scene 2. So, nested scenes, I guess. I will need to go back to this and do a couple of tweaks at the end, after doing what I'm doing first. Last time we also got to the otherworld scene, or other place, or whatever you want to call it. It's spooky. It's not quite the shadow or the gauntlet. It's its own place. I decided to treat it like this so that if people didn't want to use... if people wanted to use this as an intro to a God Machine Chronicle, they could do it as like some weird God Machine infrastructure thing. But equally, if they just want to do it as a one-off, then that's fine too. So obviously there's the ritual, which is the climax of the adventure. But before that, we actually need to stat up, we need to build, create, what have you, the Spirit of Deprivation. Now, I thought about doing this as a spirit. Spirit of Deprivation. That's me. I thought about doing this as a spirit. Just get out of here, Google. Thank you. Can I finish, Google? Thank you. I thought about building this as a spirit, but kind of the spirit rules aren't the most intuitive. Not for building them, don't get me wrong. Building spirits is fine, but actually running a spirit encounter, or ephemeral being encounter, I should say, isn't the most intuitive system in the world, to the point where there's an actual flowchart in the book demonstrating how spirits interact with the game. And I'm going to be honest, the flowchart doesn't really clarify anything. So what I'm going to do, what we're going to do, because I might get stuck, I might ask chat for help, hence the recorded chat box down here, so that all crediting is appropriate. I'm going to build it as a horror, so a less ephemeral being. Should be fine as long as you don't mix spirits. Wise words. I appreciate that. That's a solid joke. Though it was never going to be a ghost anyway, so it was definitely going to be a spirit, or an angel. Definitely spirit. But we're going to build it as a horror, and then I'm going to do kind of like a footnote as if you want to run this as a spirit. Hi, Gremlin. If you want to run this as a spirit, treat it as this with these manifestation effects and noumena. Numine? Numa. No, God, Numa, get out of here. Vintage. So, I'm just going to get rid of the name Joseph Kerr. We don't need it. That was an NPC name that never... Whoops, a daisy. Never returned. So, concept. It's this. This is the concept. It's a spirit of deprivation. There we go. I'm going to be walking through the steps of building a horror and explanations as to why. So step 2 is potency. And then probably off stream, or depending on what time I have after this, I'll put it together into some sort of stat block for ease of importing into games, because I can't produce character sheets because this is a personal community content product, not official. So I have to make do with templates. So potency is a measure of a horror's raw supernatural power. It's basically the supernatural tolerance trait. So blood potency if you're a vampire, Azoth if you're a Promethean weird if you're a changeling. I think it's weird. It's been a while since I read the Changeling book. Anyway, potency rated 1 to 10, etc., etc. I think it was gonna be potency 3. There's a table somewhere. There is. No. Potency 2. It's going to be potency 2. It's going to be slightly more powerful than the average person, but hopefully that works out fine. So potency 2. There is a whole table in the book that explains all about maximum trait limits and how many attribute dots you have to spend and what have you. Anchors. Horrors typically have virtues and vices, just like other characters. Cool. Okay, so anchors, virtue, and vice. So it's a spirit of deprivation. So its virtue will be greed. Like, it's not deprived in and of itself. It deprives others of what they have. So greed is its virtue. That's what it prioritizes. It's kind of let's say that it's get rich quick anchor, so to speak, is there's a word for it. Opportunism. There we go. So it's a creature that will plan heists if necessary, but a lot of the time will just take what it can get. After that, we have attributes. Now, pretty sure that I'll be right in saying this. Yes. So horrors, unlike spirits, actually have attributes. So what I mean by this is a spirit will have sorry, I just need to grab this block. So a spirit will have power, finesse, or resistance. They will not have intelligence, strength, and presence, for example, for power, and etc. So automatically very different beings. Spirits in some ways are much more simplified. Horrors in other ways are much more simplified. It depends what you want for it. Horrors are closer to player characters, let's say. Okay, so this is a spirit of deprivation, so it's going to have its maximum of 6 in, let's say, dexterity and stamina. So that's 10 points gone already because you start with 1 in each dot for free. And because it's a ranked, because it's a potency 2 horror, it has a spread of 19 to 22 attribute dots. We've already spent 10 because you get 1 in each for free. Let's just put 1 here for now. just to remind ourselves. I don't think it's going to be super hot on the manipulation side of things, and its resolve's probably not that high because it's been summoned and controlled. It's just angry right now, so that's 11. 14. 17. Let's give it 3 and 3 to take it to 21. Let's put an extra 1 dot into presence. This thing's horrifying. And there we go. So it's reasonable. It's above averagely smart and observant. Its willpower's basic. It's slightly above averagely strong, but its ability to move quickly and just keep moving is supernaturally high. And then it's just, I mean, did I describe them? Stretched figures within. Each has a long face with a slash-like mouthful of uneven fangs, spike-like legs, and large six-fingered hands. And if that does not convey presence 4 or above to you, what are you used to seeing, my friend? What are you used to seeing? That's its attributes. Horrifying spirit of mother-in-law. Oh no, what have I done? I would not go that far. Choose a number of dread powers as indicated by the horse potency. It has 3 dread powers. Excellent. Oh, that's the Microsoft Word. That's not what I want. So dread powers. So it has 3 dots worth of dread power. I did have a quick look at these yesterday, just to get a quick think. Just to have a quick think, even. It was going to be... I think it was going to be Gremlin. And Jump Scare. And Prodigious Leap, or Reality Stutter, I think I decided in the end. I'm going to have to move my Microsoft Word window around just so I stop opening it. Okay, where are we? So we've got Gremlin. So, Gremlin, electronic devices fail in the creature's presence. Lights flicker, cell phones get no reception, televisions and machinery randomly turn on and off. Also, it can manipulate that to some extent. So that's fine. Maybe jump scare is not really applicable. Maybe not. What would I do with that? Maybe natural weapons? You know, spiky legs, 6-fingered hands. Surprise entrance. What a power name. Let's have Reality Stutter and Wall Climb. So these are all dread power. So Gremlin allows it to short out electronic devices and mechanics. Reality Stutter allows it to warp reality and teleport. And Wall Climb allows it to... Wall Climb. It's in the name. This thing is good at moving and getting into places and getting around and taking what it wants to take. So reminder, this was summoned by the well-off elite of Georgeville to steal from the less well-off to allow them to survive the winter. Okay, so that's what it has. Did consider giving it a Newman, but it's only got 3 drip powers, so there we go. Skills. And it has 15 skill dots. Doesn't get specialties. If don't generally have specialties. I don't think it needs specialties. Reverse Robin Hood. Exactly. Hood Robin. There we go. Or Donibor. Alright, so I had a template for PCs, I believe. Did I get rid of it? No, I did not. I don't think there's any personal information there. I trust you all. Scion, we'll be getting back to you after this. Here we go, these are the skills. Whoop. Oh, nope, kills. Well, I mean, that's what it's doing, technically speaking, but there we go. So it has 15 skill dots, yes? Yes, 15 skill dots of potency 2, so... it's got natural weaponry, so... Weaponry 3. We're down to 12 dots. If it ever becomes relevant, Animal Ken 2. Down to 10 dots. Stealth 4, down to 6 dots. It really doesn't need mental stuff. What number did I just say? 7, 9. Yeah, 6 dots. I'm intimidation. We're down to 3 dots. And let's say subterfuge. This thing can lie if it needs to, but it probably won't be doing so. Whoop. Time for everyone's favorite part of the stream, where I make random noises deleting text. As ever, or I haven't said it yet, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask while I'm going along. Doesn't have to be what I'm typing about. It can be about anything related to role-playing games. 4, 7, 9, 15. Cool. I will wax lyrical on most any subject about role-playing games. Try to keep it related to Onyx Path, of course, but I can't stop you. Merit dots. It has 5 merit dots. I know... Okay, let's just make a note of this. Templates. Merits. Rating. Okay, so it's got 5 dots. 142. Chat, remember page 142. Physical merits. Where is it? There it is. Giant. This thing is huge. 1, 2, 3. 2 merit dots remain. Could just put it into double jointed. I could. Probably not going to, but I could. What are the supernatural merits? Are any of these applicable? Ooh. Ooh. I think I've found my merit. Numbing Touch rank 2 it is. Well, there we go. That was way easier than I thought it would be. Obviously, giant taking up 3 dots, it really helps. Advantages. Finally, you calculate horror's advantages. So, giant makes it super big. These things are really tall and thin. Numbing touch allows it to basically sort of anesthetize anyone it decides to. They ignore wound penalties, but are actually worse at things because they're sluggish and sedated. It seems to fit with my overall concept of this horror. Anyway, feel free to ignore the formula. Well, I'll sort out the advantages first, and then we'll see what feels right. I believe I have an advantages thing as well. I do. It is here. There we go. That's my template. It's way easier to do than I thought it would be. Anyway, willpower equals resolve, composure plus potency. So 2, 4, 5. That works fine. Integrity. Unless your horror is a human being with monstrous power, it doesn't have an integrity score. Nope. It is not a human being. Probably never was. I don't think humanity or harmony would work, or weird or anything like that, so I'm fine leaving that be. This is a size 6 horror. For really large, unusual horrors, like a sentient, hateful house, consider breaking its size, and therefore health, into discrete chunks, rather than giving the horror a single 75-box health track. It's size 6. Which is why I took the giant merit. Strictly speaking, I didn't need to take the giant merit, because horrors, as I read, you can give them any numerical value that you want. But I wanted there to be like an actual physical representation on the template of how freakishly large this thing is. Speed equal to strength, dexterity, species factor. Which, gosh, what is it for a human? I could just go to the relevant page. Character create 143. Character creation advantages 5 for a human. There we go. So yeah, +5. And back to page 143. Strength, dex +5. So that gives us a whopping total of speed 14. This is a speedy creature, but it's like really jerky and jittery at the same time, and can teleport and can climb up walls, and hopefully it's unnerving. Speed health is size plus stamina, so it's size 6, stamina 6. It's got 12 health. So theoretically, could one create a fresh flesh golem the size of a skyscraper? Definitely, yeah. The wonderful thing about Chronicles of Darkness, and also partly why I decided to build this as a horror, is it's very much a toolkit. You can do anything you want with it. If you wanted to create a flesh golem the size of a skyscraper, you could. There's nothing stopping you. What I would do in that case is probably give its limbs their own health values. And attributes, maybe not necessarily skills. So this is a horror, which is, as you can see, it has like a full character sheet, for want of a better word. There are also brief nightmares, which are much more simplified in how they are mechanically worked out. They're a lot closer to the story path system, where kind of they have a best pool and a worst pool and an everything else pool, and don't require the full character sheet treatment. So in that case, you might snap the flesh golem this way. If you were to break it down into its limbs, you'd probably just use a lone terror, brief nightmare for individual limbs, maybe. So like its best dice pool at 10 would be to move, or to grip, or to tread, kick, what have you. Although obviously breaking characters down to limbs is a bit weird with dice rolling. But yes, you could theoretically create a flesh golem the size of a skyscraper using this system. Giant would work, although you could just make it any size you want at that point. Would probably be... a skyscraper is size 100, for example. So at size 100, plus strength, plus stamina or whatever it was, kind of 120 is probably feasibly the maximum for like a potency 3 horror. And then it's up to you if you want to allow the players to take off chunks of its health in one go, or just get through each health box individually. Initiative modifier is dexterity plus composure. It's not going to be terribly high. 7. It's still pretty high. I keep forgetting it's got 6 in dexterity. Lower of wits or dexterity. 3. However, this thing is janky at AF. So let's make this... Let's make it 6. No, let's make it 5. Let's make it 4. Slightly higher than it would be, but not to the point where you can't actually hurt it. And then weakness. Yes, it's going to have a ban and a bane because it is a spirit. So ban, colon, bane, colon. So it is a spirit, so it's still going to have some mechanical things to tie in with spirits. So ephemeral beings, I should say, cover ghosts, spirits, and angels. Angels are related to the god machine. Ghosts are ghosts. They're, dead folk. And things. Spirits are animist. In the animist understanding that they're forces of the world that have some measure of thought and free will. But they all have... Where is it? They all have bans and banes. More powerful the spirit, the more occult its ban or bane is. So a ban is a behavior it must or must not perform under certain conditions, and a bane is something that it really, really does not like. Not being of this world. So so this would be a rank 2 entity. Moderate ban that could tell the creature's activities in a more serious way than mere distraction. Ghost must immediately dematerialize when it hears the sound of a cat. The murderous spirit of a car that's run down multiple people is all-wheel power if it doesn't kill one person a month. The angel of the records answers any question about the family background or true identity of the subject if the questioner accurately tells the angel her time to the minute and place of birth. Okay, so it's a spirit of deprivation. It's a compulsive behavior. Let's also tie in with what's come so far. So we've had like a ghostly feast. We've had hints of cannibalism. The otherworldly place was like an Arctic forest. Okay. Where did my window go? Ah! Entity must consume raw flesh if the air temperature drops below 0 degrees Celsius. So if the player characters decide to take in liquid nitrogen with them and spray it, then it'll go crazy just trying to eat them rather than thinking about things, which makes it easy to manipulate. And it's Bane. Banes, ephemeral entities, not the material and right strangest amount, so the interactions between their ephemeral twilight form and physical substance always contains a flaw. Bane, the damages, it doesn't have corpus, but it has health. Bane is a physical substance or energy that an entity can't abide. Well, this would be plenty. Oh, growing. Green wood. PCs. Hasta la vista, baby. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, Bane. Green wood. Okay, that's Ban and Bane. Where was I at? Page 143, I think it said. Yeah. This thing is not the T1000. Let's just get that clear right now. That's the Ban and the Bane. Finishing touches. Do one last check to make sure horror is doing what you need it to in the story. If you anticipate the horror confronting place head on, spot checks dice pulsing its characters. And that's it. That's a horror. Let's also then go with, if you wish to use this creature as a spirit, treat it as a rank 2 entity using the prioritization above for its attributes. It has the shadow gate and materialization. Technically speaking, that should be a Z because that's the way the book spells it. Gosh darned Americans. That's just gentle fun. I do apologize. Manifestation abilities and the what Numina would make sense. How many Numina does it get? Numin. Oh, right, it needs to define its influence as well. Where did that table go? Table, where have thou forsaken me? Nope. There we go. Rank 2, 3 to 5 Numina. Gotcha. It'd be Drain. Left-handed Spanner, which is basically the Gremlin Dread Power. And Speed, I guess? Numina are weird. That's not the Google. Oh, God, never mind. Drain, left-handed Spanner, and Speed Numina. Don't have to use Zeds or U's, but we love them anyway. True that. Gremlin powers, exactly. Gremlin power activate. There we go. So could rank. So rank is how powerful a spirit is. Essence is what it uses to fuel its willpower. It's basically willpower. Attributes and skills, I've told how to define those. Advantages. Spirits don't have integrity or virtue or a vice, so that's fine. Whoop. Sorry about the webcam movement. Corpus is derived from that. Willpower is derived from that. Initiative, defense, speed, and size. Do need to make a note that it is size 6. Unusually, for its rank, the spirit is size 6. Usually a spirit is the size of its rank. Has those bands, has those banes. I really should make a note somewhere that it has natural weapons. I'll be fine. It's going to be rolling a lot of dice for fighting. 9 die pool. So I think actually on reflection, keeping it as not having natural weapons, obviously it's going to only be doing bashing damage, will help not kill player characters. So that's fine. It can stick doing bashing damage. It is a rank 2 creature, so it has influence 2. Yes, it has influence 2. This is where it kind of falls down a little bit. So it would be influence. Hell yeah. Vice. This thing influences vices. 2. Manifestation effects I've covered. It has Shadow Gateway. Oh. Rank 3 only. Gosh darn it. Well, that's annoying. In which case... not feeling a Vernian Gateway. I guess just Gauntlet Breach. Sorry, I'm just shouting words at things. So Gauntlet Breach means the shadow can move from our physical world to the spirit world, and Materialize means it can shift from kind of the halfway state to go from like non-corporeal to corporeal form in this realm, in the material world. And then I'm not even going to bother tackling conditions right now because they are really confusing. Numina we've covered. And now the actual ritual side of things. Okay, so we've got a thing. We've got a spirit built as a horror and as a spirit. It uses the ban and bane described above. So we've got that. So now what we need to do is go back to this. So following all the clues, the player characters should know they're dealing with a spirit of deprivation or hunger and know where to find it. Hidden basement access to the reflecting pool. By using another extended action, using a dice pool as you as the storyteller to deem applicable, and requiring 7 successes with each interval being 2 hours long, PCs can discover enough fragments of information concerning spirits of this type to cobble together a list of what they need to banish the spirit. Suggested banishment is provided here, but you're free to devise your own. 4 PCs place a lit candle around the edges of the original summoning banning circle and use... and each uses... God damn it, Google, stop it! Gosh darn it, even. I do apologise. Uses each candle to light a taper of green wood, signifying renewal, spring growth, etc. They must then chant an opposing mantra to that provided in the inscription before making offering of food to the spirit and then bifurcating the account of the spell and effects of the number 4 in the original ritual and banishing the spirit. So that's the banishment ritual. So that's that. It is probable that they will discover either its ban or bane, but discovering both should require an exceptional success. So there we go. So that actually required less tweaking than I thought it would. Go me, future-proofing things for myself. Woo, I'm a genius. That's not true in any way, shape or form. Ah, inscription, right. Where is it? Nope, ladle. A sample mantra, or an example mantra would be as they have, so shall we. So as we have, so shall they. What we have, they shall have. Ah, just falling apart with my punctuation. What is going on? I can type, I swear, I promise. There we go. As we have, so shall they. What we have, they shall have. What we do not want for, you shall give. There we go. 16 pages so far. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, so the ritual. There's not really much to say about this. It's a ritual space. Ritual space in the hidden basement is large and populated with corpses, some more recent than others. Each appears to have been mummified in ice. And a hoarfrost covers the floor of the room. But does not obscure the ritual circle. Whilst the ritual is being performed as an extended action requiring, let's say, 10 successes. The spirit of deprivation. I can't believe I get to do this. This is like a dream come true. Page XX. I'll have to fix that, you know, when I assemble this into the actual final document. The spirit of deprivation will attack them and try to stop them. Try to prevent them succeeding. There we go. Mom, tell me it's cold and try to play D&D. Exactly. Exactly. Except, you know, for a splinter group of the Freemasons who have decided to dabble in things man was not meant to what of. We'll attack them and try to prevent them succeeding. Okay. The PC may opt to dramatically fail at any point to ignore No PC actively participating in the ritual may apply their defense to attacks made against them. The idea being, of course, that you have more than 4 PCs. However, if you have fewer than 4 PCs, it is entirely possible to banish the spirit back to its own realm by filling its health track with aggravated damage. I don't know why. I just started to sing it like that. I'm sorry. By filling its health track with aggravated damage and then performing the ritual. Sending it back into a non-corporeal state. And then finishing the ritual. Upon the ritual's completion, I think I mentioned it here. The ritual circle snap freezes and shatters. Really, there's not much to say about it. The players have everything they need to know. The spirit of deprivation is there. Epilogue. Thus, there is no formal epilogue. It is encouraged to provide, to allow, there we go, even better, scene for the PCs to digest what they have recently witnessed / done. Mostly because a lot of excellent role playing comes from the aftermath of horror and the dealing with it. So there we go. However, so scene for the ritual. The ritual space in the hidden basement is large and populated with corpses, some more recent than others. Each appears to have been mummified in ice, and the hoarfrost covers the floor of the room, but does not obscure the ritual circle. Going to the original summoners and their families. So ritual is being performed as an extended action requiring 10 successes. The spirit of deprivation will attack them and try to prevent them from succeeding. No PC actively participating in the ritual may apply their defense to attacks made against them. It is entirely possible to banish the spirit back to its own realm by filling its health track with aggravated damage, sending it back into a non-corporeal state and then finishing the ritual. Upon the ritual's completion, the ritual circle snap freezes and shatters. Let's make this 15. I think 10 successes. Actually, no, not many of them kind of. Requiring 10 successes with a dice pool based on intelligence or resolve, or composure, plus occult. I think 10 would require maybe 2 rounds of combat, which would be enough to seriously mess up anyone in the room. I'll be fine. Hopefully, at some point I'll playtest this, or people will playtest it for me, and then I can alter the number, obviously. If the spirit of deprivation has not been dealt with by reduce. Oh, hang on. Even better, rather than adding a repeated sentence. There we go. And then finishing the ritual. If the PCs do not do this, the ritual is performed. I think it's just initiative order, right? Violence, there we go. Because it is a conflict. Yes. Following the rules for violence. Actively participating in the ritual. That is using their action to generate successes towards the total. So this is just clarifying language, making sure that there's enough information within the body of the text to convey what I want it to convey. Because I can't really describe a combat scene, so I've just got to provide the framework for the combat scene. If the PCs don't do this, the ritual is performed as following the rules of violence. Whilst the ritual is being performed as an extended action requiring 10 successes with a dice pool based on intelligence or resolve or composure, depending on how you want to go about it. Spirit of Deprivation will attack them and try to prevent them from succeeding. No PC may actively participate. No PC actively participating in the ritual, that is, using their action to generate successes towards the total, may apply their defensive attacks made against them. I copy-pasted rather than cut-paste. Gosh darn it. Upon the ritual's completion, the ritual circle snap freezes and shatters. Any PC suffering from the obsessed... Why do I always put too many S's in obsessed? Obsessed snack. Suffering from the obsessed condition as a result of this story loses that condition without gaining the beat for resolving it. But you're getting a beat for finishing the story, so it should balance out. That's more a description, and then we've got how the scene works. Let's clarify this further. The PCs have two options. Fill the Spirit of Deprivation health track with aggravated damage. Sending it back to the shadow temporarily. Side note, if they do this and then do not complete the ritual, the spirit will return when dramatically appropriate. If PCs do not do this, rituals performed while following the rules of violence, with the rituals being performed in a standard action requiring 10 successes. Each interval being one character's turn. The undead are such drama queens. They really are. I mean, there's I think it was a Dread Power. Where is it? Oh, was it? There it is. Whoops, nope, that's not the right chapter. Where was it? I think it was a Dread Power. What was it? Maybe it was a Numina. I thought one of them was basically just play dead. Anyway, I know there's also a flare in Scion that is basically if you kill a villain off screen, they're not dead. They'll just come back. You have to kill them on screen. Anyway. Also, technically, Spirit, not undead. But that's just pure mechanical semantics within terms of the game. Each interval being one character's turn. That's not where I wanted to put that word. There we go. Requiring 10 successes on a dice pool based on intelligence or resolve or composure plus occult. The spirit of deprivation. I need to move this page reference up a bit. There we go. And then Control A. Heading 1. PCs. And I need to make these all heading 2. This is entirely so I can easily import this into Word and have the headings be correct. There's no other reason to do this. Just proper formatting. I'll also have, obviously, section breaks and things, but scroll faster. Scroll faster! Whoa, get out of here, curly bracket. No one likes you. That's a lie. I like curly brackets. I think they're attractive, but storyteller character. Whoops. There's only the one, but it needs its own heading for formatting purposes, so there we go. So there we go. I think that's it. What are we at? 20 pages? It'll be slightly more than that because of formatting and art, but if I can find any art. So I don't need... I'll leave those because I do an adventure outline in the introduction. So there we go. I think I'm done. It took 8 weeks to do this one. 8 streams, sorry, so 16 weeks because once every 2 weeks. Those of you curious, it took 14 to do Scion. So, you know, bit of a difference. It's only been an hour and 10 minutes, so if anyone has any questions about any of this or role-playing games or anything in general, feel free to ask now. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up in like 5 minutes' time. Or start my wrap-up in about 5 minutes' time. I'm just going to quickly scan through this and talk randomly about things. So I guess we could do story aspirations. Let's do story aspirations. I've got time. That's what I'm going to talk randomly about. Where are we? There we go. Aspirations. Chronicles of Darkness characters start with your aspirations. Aspirations are goals that your character wishes to accomplish. There are also statements about the sort of stories you want to tell about your character. Accomplishing an aspiration is one of the main ways you can beats. Cool. Very good. Are there any good character generators, or is it still just Mr. Gon's PDF sheets? As far as I'm concerned or aware, it's still Mr. Gon's sheets. That's great. Well done. Thank you. This will be up eventually. Explore the darkness within Georgeville. This will be up on the Storytellers Vault at some point. I would say soon, but it's one of those soon with a TM behind it. It's when I've got time to read through it, proof it, format it properly, source art. I'm hoping I'm hoping so much that like Scion there's an art pack and templates and stuff for this. Otherwise, it will look kind of janky, but it'll be the best I can do because I don't have InDesign, for example, and I don't have any textures pre-made, so I'll have to sort out making a texture for the background and all of that good stuff. Although Onyx Path seems to be pretty good at providing resources for content creation, for community content. So there we go. Explore the darkness within Georgeville. Discover hidden truths about the past. Overcome a threat no one believes in. 3 is fine. Yeah, so this will be up on the, as I say, this will be up on the Storytellers Vault. There'll be a link to the playlist with all the videos in it, so it's going to take at least 1 week for me to do, because that's how long I have to not... Well, ignore that bit, because I can just add the video afterwards. Working on a solution for what card tooling for character creation Chronicles, it's been a slow process. I can imagine. I was saying, yeah. So this will be up on the Storytellers Vault soon. So if you're interested, it'll be pay what you want, so you can just download it for free. And if you feel like throwing any money after reading it, feel free to do so. That reminds me, I still need to upload the version 1.1 of the Scion of A Rude Awakening. Ooh, I'll try and get on that later. So next time I stream. Sorry, more accurately, next time I stream this show will be the 23rd of June, in which I will be going back to Scion. I'll be doing a follow-up adventure in Scion Hero, which is when the game gets kind of cool with all the godlike abilities. So if you're interested in Scion, please do consider checking that out when I start doing that. I still need to get some sort of rough story idea down. Hoo boy. I think that's really it for me to talk about. I didn't think I'd finish today. I thought, or if I did, it would take me until the end of the stream. So I don't really have anything else planned. So I'm hoping that it's okay. If any of the Overwatch Onyx Path Overlords are in chat, they're finally wrapping up early because I don't have anything else but basic Q&A stuff. So I'll just go through my wrap up stuff with links and things, and then if you do have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm going through that, and I'll address them as and when they come up. So to recap, over the past 8 streams, checks notes, confirms 8 streams, we have created an introductory adventure for the Chronicles of Darkness. The next project is going to be Scion Hero, a sequel to A Rude Awakening. I have no idea what to call it. And after that, I'm toying with the idea of doing a Promethean the Created introductory adventure. However, I might go for Scarred Lands instead. But I do a lot of work with 5e OGL stuff, so it's kind of going down that route. This is something I know reasonably well route, rather than pushing myself to deal with harder subject matters, which obviously Promethean is a very complex game. But hopefully you're all interested in that. So as ever, the best place to get news on Onyx Path projects, etc. I'm just going to drop the links again. Is the Monday meeting notes. Generally speaking, pretty good resource. That's where you can find project updates, Kickstarter information. 5 more minutes, Mom. I'm not done yet. Kickstarter information, media links to podcasts, actual plays, YouTube videos of various other things. Art. I forgot to mention the art. There's a sweet Titanomachy art piece in this week's Monday meeting notes. So that's the Monday meeting notes, and you've got the current Kickstarter, which is that for Legend Lore. Now I've got time. I will read the copy. You found an enchanted portal, a transition point between worlds. The portal, called a crossing, takes you to a world you thought only existed in novels and films. A magical land where dragons roam the skies, orcs and hobgoblins terrorize weary travelers, and unicorns prance through the forest. It is a world where humans join other peoples such as elves, trolls, dwarves, changelings, and the dreaded creatures who steal the night. It is a world of fantasy, of imagination. It is the realm. It is legend lore. It's based on comics, and you are a person in a world of fantasy. Hang on 1 second. Can you still get the thing? Does anyone know if you can still get the thing? I don't know if you can still get the thing. That's not how you spell the thing. You can. You can. Excellent. So if you are intrigued but not sold on Kickstarter selling, you can actually download the rules, the backer manuscript for free from DriveThruRPG. This was something. It came out 2 weeks ago, I believe. Because so that's a preview of the draft. Because this was the material that they'd sent out during the previous Kickstarter, which was cancelled, and didn't think it fair to just kind of give it out again. So there you go. So that's a free download if you want to get a preview document. I say a preview. It is 328 pages, so it's a hefty document. If it's anything like the past ones, there'll probably be no art in it. It'll just be the text. And then this weekend is Onyx PathCon, available at that link, where you can watch actual plays, panels, Q&A sessions, take part in demos, all of that good stuff. If there's any games you want to try out, I will say a lot of them are sold out now. Are sold out already. All the Fridays gone. Scarred Lands, 10 AM EDT on Saturday is the first one that isn't sold out, and appears to be the only game on Saturday that isn't until 5 PM, which is Scarred Lands again. Apparently Scarred Lands does not get much love. Sunday is also mostly sold out in terms of demos, so I guess I'm working for both sessions. Probably. Cool. Anyway, so check the games that are still open, see if there's anything you want to play. And obviously there's a schedule, there are giveaways, and all that good stuff, and money goes to charity, which is obviously good. And hopefully, if this does well enough, there'll be more virtual Onyx PathCons in the future, because it's hard to disguise the accent. I'm based in Britain, and I cannot get to the bigger conventions that Onyx Path show up at. I'm also terrified of crowds, and obviously, so I can't. I don't attend that many conventions, let's say. So virtual conventions are a great idea for people like me, or people who can't afford to travel, or just can't afford like hotel costs and things. So hopefully it's not just a one-time thing. I can be found as Comrade Bubbles pretty much everywhere, apart from Private Gemming, which is Moonlit Bard. My Patreon is Moonlit Bard, but that's 5e stuff, so I'm not going to really talk more about that here. I will be going to my own stream just after I wrap up here. I generally leave the post roll up for about 5 minutes or so people can see the other shows on the channel and answer any questions people may have without requiring them to go to my channel or my Twitter account. So I think that's it. I'll be around in chat, as I literally just said, for about 5 minutes if there are any questions, and then the stream will end, and then I will go to my own channel, and I'll be around there for a few hours. But for now, I hope everyone has enjoyed this kind of insight into how a fan creates community content for the Storytellers Vault. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time, starting a Scion Hero Chronicle, writing process. I don't know if this adventure will be played, like be streamed, actual played, whatever the correct verb is. Hoping the Scion Hero one will be with the players from my previous Scion actual play. But who knows? That's in the future. Maybe I can corral some friends together to play this with me. I don't know. But that's it, I think, from me for now. So thank you everyone for being here. Again, if you aren't subscribed to the channel and you are able to, please do consider it. It helps the Honest Path channel grow. You get some cool emotes. You get access to the videos on demand for a week before they go live to the public. And there is a lot of cool stuff coming up on this channel, not just today, but over the rest of the week. So please do stick around for the post-roll to see the other shows available too. However, that is it for today. Sorry I've kind of cut you short by about a good 40 minutes, but I've got nothing else to talk about. So I guess thank you from both my heart and from Onyx Path. I'm sure they would echo that sentiment for just supporting the channel with your time. And I don't know how to end streams. You've probably noticed by now. So I'll just say see you around in 2 weeks. Have a good one. And bombard me with questions if you want to.